You likely already saw the Last of Us Part 1 trailer, right? Well, we got some comparison shots as well of the remake versus the original, a ton of info about the different editions and the price, because is this good enough? Maybe more interesting is that Naughty Dog teased future projects, including a really big sounding standalone multiplayer game and another new project. We also got some new Last of Us HBO info, so really a ton to go over. Of course, if you are curious and excited for the future of The Last of Us, then leaving a like on the video would really support the channel. Subscribe for way more Last of Us content, and let's go. We always had rumors that a The Last of Us remake would come this year, but I did not expect that it would already drop on September 2nd. The game is built from the ground up for PS5, but Neil Druckmann at Summer Game Fest said that PC would be coming shortly after, so I think it's likely still coming this year. Neil also explained that they used the same motion capture performances from the original, but they could retarget the animations of the faces and put them on brand new rigs that have a way more fidelity. The same art director from the original is also working on this remake, and of course we see the improvements. But also on Reddit, David posted some beautiful environmental shots from the original versus what we saw in the trailer. And while it's totally similar, we for example do see different trees, the cars slightly changed, less plants surrounding the statue in this shot, and overall way better lighting. While this shot is way more overgrown, giving a more apocalyptic vibe, and the amazing reflection on the water wasn't there before. And maybe you also spotted Ellie kill David in the burning restaurant, while in the original the flames were way less noticeable in this shot. So it also seems that they are taking the time to make important scenes more cinematic and impactful. Personally though, I'm more interested in the changes they're making to the gameplay. All the combat is redone, there should also be brand new AI, and all the new animation systems from The Last of Us Part 2 are present here as well. I'm not sure if you tried The Last of Us Part 2 after that 60 FPS update they did for PS5, but it's really night and day, making 30 FPS feel like slow motion. So having the higher frame rate in this remake will already be great, and I would often just replay encounters in The Last of Us Part 2 because of how tense they were and how good and responsive everything feels, so applying this to the first game will be awesome. There are also going to be more accessibility options in Part 1, likely similar to what they did in the sequel, and they will also implement 3D audio, haptics and adaptive triggers. So a lot of effort totally went into this, but it also comes at a price. The standard edition of the game will namely cost the same as a brand new PS5 title at $70 or 80 euros. Although worth noting, and maybe you saw it in the trailer already, the Left Behind DLC is also included, and this was $15 at launch. And if you never played it, I totally recommend you do. It's like a short and sweet experience. So before we move on to the interesting update we got on the brand new Last of Us game, I quickly want to go over the kind of nonsense pre-order bonus with some crafting parts and also the different editions. We got a digital deluxe edition with a bunch of early unlocks to make the game a bit easier if you want. You namely get an increased crafting and healing speed skill, extra ammo capacity, a special filter. We actually saw a lot of those added to The Last of Us Part 2 with a post-launch update. There were a few already in The Last of Us 1 at release, but we will likely see way more of them in the remake. And you also get some weapon skins, but yeah, that's for $10 extra and 10 extra euro. It's quite a lot, it's not really worth it in my opinion. There's also a $100 US only Firefly edition, which comes with a different case, a steelbook, new covers for the American Dream comics, which by the way, a story about Ellie and Riley before the first game, and all the digital content from the deluxe edition is included here as well. I still have some closing thoughts regarding the remake and the fact that we might get a state of play about it very soon, but I'm kind of itching to talk about this multiplayer project because also during the Summer Game Fest, Neil noted that they've been working on this for the last 2 years. So, seems like they really started after The Last of Us Part 2 released. So yeah, it still seems far off. We will get the proper reveal next year, which is kind of sad, but also interesting. More on that soon. But now we got the first concept art, which seems to hint at the fact that it's set in San Francisco instead of Seattle and Los Angeles. The map looks also way bigger than any map we saw in the Factions multiplayer, and Neil also said that this will be as big and in some ways bigger than a regular Naughty Dog single player game. It should namely also have a story. The way we're telling the story is very unique to this game. It will have a brand new cast of characters as well. So maybe it will be similar to Ghost of Tsushima Legends, where you also had two-player linear sort of co-op missions with kind of a story. Would be interesting, but I think this concept art is hinting at a bigger, maybe sort of survival mode, where in a team of 2, you have to play in this larger map, and next to other players can also encounter runners and other infected on the street and in buildings, as we kind of see in the art here as well, with someone hiding behind the car. So really curious what the business model for this will be. It sounds a bit too much for a free-to-play title. Maybe only one mode will be free-to-play, while the story content is paid. It's totally part of Sony's initiative to release 12 live service games before April 2026 though. But they already want 2 out before April 2023, and I first thought this would totally be one of them, but now that doesn't seem to be the case. So we still have 2 secret Sony games launching very soon. So this makes the second project from Guerrilla Games they've been working on for more than 4 years now a more likely candidate. Will it be Horizon related? Maybe SOCOM? Another shooter? It will be very interesting to see. We also got new updates on the Last of Us HBO TV show. Troy and Ashley will namely play a role as well. We of course have Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie, who we now see in a new image. And I did not notice this during the stream, but damn, if you turn up the brightness, you see a scary clicker chase them. But yeah, we now learned that Joel and Ellie from the game will also play some sort of role in this TV show, although it wasn't said who they would be. They did film their roles already, and the first season should be done filming right now. Neil also hinted that it's closer than you might think, so maybe we see it sometime early next year already, or hopefully before that. We will see, but it at least has all the ingredients to be good, so I really hope it delivers. Neil Druckmann also directed one episode of the TV show, but he's overall busy with a new game project. So this is next to the remake and the multiplayer title. He noted that The Last of Us Part 2 sold more than 10 million units since this spring, and that this success allowed us to grow as a studio, and now we can take on multiple projects, more than we've ever had at the same time. But yeah, we heard this before. They also wanted to do this during the Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us development, but then in the end they needed all the help on Uncharted 3, which then slowed down the development on the first The Last of Us game. And even in 2021, Co-President Evan Wells said that we definitely have multiple projects, but only one that is getting the lion's share of focus at any time. Like, I'm excited. I really want Naughty Dog to move on from Uncharted and The Last of Us, but yeah, it seems that they want to like get these games out first before they go really full steam ahead on this new project. First we get The Last of Us Part 1, and I overall really thought that they would include The Last of Us Part 2 Director's Cut with extra PS5 enhancements for full price, which would have been a way better deal, but they likely thought that they could get away with this, and they might be right. Like, I need to see some actual gameplay before I can make my judgment, and I think we will soon, because the blog post talked about some key developers who also worked on the original and are now working on the remake, how they are the perfect fit to helm this project, and you will be hearing even more about The Last of Us Part 1 from them soon, which kind of sounds like a state of play to me. So when it happens, we will be live reacting. I will keep you posted with videos, so totally subscribe if you haven't already for everything on Naughty Dog and The Last of Us. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out my previous video on what other PlayStation studios are working on. We looked at all the news and leaks and shared that in this really big video. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.